Today we're talking garage lights, specifically PrimeLights, and specifically their T8 Stingray 4XL Highbay Fixtures. Long name, don't worry about it, links down below. You can check it out on their website. Before we get into that, let's get a little background here. First of all, I'd usually have better light on my face for a video, but this is the before part of the video, so we kind of get what we get, but presumably in just a few minutes for you, tomorrow for me, it's going to get significantly better. Second is the size of my garage. I have a 2-car garage, and most 2-car garages are 20 by 20. So my garage is 20 feet this way, but down here I have a 4-foot extension off to the side, so my garage is 20 by 24 feet. But I think for all intents and purposes, I have a roughly standard 2-car garage, 20 by 20, 20 by 24, and I have a 10-foot ceiling. Now the lights that typically come with a garage, you get the light that's on the garage door opener, and I think that is just enough to be adequate for not being in the pitch black when the other lights are not on. And then maybe you have 2 other fixtures as I have here, and I have what I previously thought and still think were really bright LED bulbs in these. And these each put out 3,500 lumens, so a total of 7,000 there. I'm not sure what the garage door opener light puts out, but I'm gonna be generous and give that 2,000 lumens. So we'll call this setup 9,000 lumens. Now lumens are not everything. You need to consider foot candles, which I'll get into in a bit, but a lot of people, especially flashlight people, are familiar with lumens, so I'm gonna use that for comparison. So I'm going from 9,000 lumens on this setup, and again, I thought this was really bright, but turns out it can be a lot better. And from my internet research, I came across PrimeLights. They're out of Austin, Texas, and I am getting their Stingray fixtures. They're 4-bulb, they have a 4-bulb and a 6-bulb. If you actually go to their website, you put in the size of your room and they will give you recommendations for what lights you might need for your room and how many of them you need. And also if you give them, like you email them the size of your, in my case, garage, someone from the company will actually make a diagram of what and where you should mount the lights in the room for optimal lighting. Usually for a room this size, 4 of these lights would be plenty, but if you want really bright, you get 6. So each of these fixtures puts out 12,400 lumens, so I'm going from 9,000 lumens to 74,400 lumens. It's gonna be insane here. It's gonna be like the sun is shining. Thankfully, for when I don't need the sun to be shining here, the lights are dimmable, so I can have a little bit more modern, maybe go for a cloudy day. But let me show you how the lights come. So they come in boxes like this, and in each of these boxes is 3 lights. So they come well packaged, and then on the inside of the boxes, 3 of these in here. So as I mentioned out in the garage, this is how they come inside the large box, 3 of these per box. This is the fixture itself in here. Before we get into this, just a few other things on PrimeLights. Like I mentioned, they're from Austin, Texas. However, they have warehouse locations at 7 places around the country, so that you're going to get that much faster delivery to your address because of the efficiency of shipping from different locations, and shipping within the lower 48 states is free. So good deals there on both shipping and cost and speed. And let's have a look inside this and see how these lights come. Now, like I mentioned, this fixture is $132. And it puts out 12,400 lumens, but lumens are not really the whole picture. You really need to take into account foot candles. And lumens are how much light a fixture puts out. Foot candles are how much light is being shined onto the surface. So they have a calculator on their website that you can use to calculate how much light you need, and it will also recommend the different products that you could use. So inside here are, well, let's take the whole thing out. I'm going to go from the bottom because the lights are here. All right, so here are the LEDs, well packaged with some padding on the ends. These are 5,000 degrees Kelvin, so these are daylight bulbs. And for those, we'll set those aside. Here's the other two. All right, so here's the fixture itself. Now, you'll notice there's a bluish discoloration here. This is a film that's on it, and you peel this film off. So that will expose the reflective material down in the bottom there. On the top, there are multiple different mounting holes. So you can mount it flush, you can hang it from a chain, some different options. The nice thing about these lights is that they are dimmable just using your regular switch. You don't need to install a special dimmer switch. It just has to do with the way that you turn it on and off, and we'll demonstrate that when we get there. So now all that's left is to get the electricians here and install it. Absolutely makes you doing even small things on my cars, like replacing the center caps here, just so much easier without having to drag any extra lights out here. All right, post installation, and you can see the lights are up, and it is a, no pun intended, kind of pun intended, night and day difference in here. It is so much brighter in here than it was when I had just the 3 lights and the garage door light. And one of the other things that I hadn't really fully thought through, that I kind of wasn't ready for, was how even the light was going to be. There were areas before, like over on my workbench here, where there were some shadows because the lights were back there, but now there is a light directly above me and it shines right down on here because the lights are 2 feet in from each wall, 5 feet in this way, and because they have a 120-degree beam pattern, there are no areas of shadow anywhere in the garage. The garage is just super evenly lit. It used to be before, when I would work on my cars in here, I would have to bring one of my studio lights that I use for these videos out here and aim it at the car, because there were a lot of shadows and there were dark areas in here. But now, with how evenly this thing is lit, that is not going to be a problem at all. Let me show you. It is dimmable if you are so inclined. And the way you do that is you take the switch here, you go off on, and you can see the lights are going down, and then you can set it to a lower brightness. Or you can go back on to full bright. So I thought that maybe I would want to have some lower brightnesses, but I love just how bright this is so much that I think that I'm just going to leave this on full brightness, because I love the light. It is so bright in here, it's so evenly lit. If you have a shop or a garage or anything that you need or would like lots of light in, these are going to be an amazing solution. And I'm so glad I went with 6 instead of the 4, because again, I have 2 feet in from each wall and it just provides light everywhere. So check these out. Links down below to the PrimeLights website. Amazing lights, they look great. Check them out.